A woman is suing London Underground for £25 million after losing an arm and a leg, with TfL's lawyers claiming that she put herself in danger. Sarah de Lagarde, 47, underwent amputations of parts of her right arm and leg after being struck by two Northern Line trains at High Barnet on September 30, 2022. On that night, she was woken by a fellow passenger at the end of the line and got off the train. Realizing that the train was heading back in her direction, she attempted to reboard, but slipped and fell into the gap between the train and the platform. Despite shouting for help, no one heard her, including the driver, who noticed her handbag and took it to lost property before continuing his journey at 9:54 p.m., ultimately running over her arm. 5 minutes later, a second train arrived and crushed her right leg. Ms. de Lagarde, who is the head of PR for an investment firm, has brought the case to the High Court. Defense documents reviewed by the Evening Standard show that TfL denies liability, accusing her of being negligent in the way she exited the train and placing herself in a position of danger. They cite her inability to maintain her balance, lack of stable footing, insufficient regard for her own safety, and failure to heed the mind. The gap announcements as failings. Prashant Porpatkechi, representing London Underground, acknowledged that this is a tragic case and that Ms. de Lagarde has sustained horrific injuries. In his written submissions, he stated, the defendant denies these allegations and also pleads contributory negligence. He indicated that the parties agree the case should first proceed to a preliminary trial addressing issues of liability, breach of duty, causation, and contributory negligence. In defense of Ms. de Lagarde, James MacDonald argued that this is not an ordinary personal injury case. Lawyers for TfL explained that shortly after the incident, the driver walked through the train to begin his return journey and saw Ms. de Lagarde's brown bag wedged between the carriage and the platform. He gave the bag to lost property, but did not investigate further because he did not see or hear the claimant at that point, and did not look into the gap, having no reason to do so. The documents indicate that the train departed around 10 p.m., running over Ms. de Lagarde's right arm. About 5 minutes later, a second Northern Line train arrived at platform 3 and crushed her right leg. Following the accident, Ms. de Lagarde, who now uses 2 prosthetic limbs, including a bionic arm, expressed, "Miraculously, I survived, but it cost me dearly. The first train took my arm, and the second train took my leg. That night, I also lost my mobility, my independence, my dignity, and, above all, my ability to hug my 2 young children with both arms." She suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and has not returned to using public transport since the incident. Feeling absolutely terrified. Trial schedules 2027.